Broadcasting live from quarantine, this is your movie quiz for Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Movie Quiz, part of the Trivia List network of games. I am your host, Chris Mann-Nelson, and in just a few minutes, I am going to begin hosting a game full of movie-themed questions, 4 rounds of movie-themed questions. This is a completely interactive show. It's kind of run like a podcast, but it's also completely interactive. You can play. If you want to play some movie trivia, just head to this website right above my head here, tmq.thetrivialist.com. Enter your team name and you can be in the game. It's really fun. We're going to have 4 rounds of trivia with a special guest. You just enter your team name and you're good to go. This is a totally free game to play. There's no buy-in and you don't have to put any cash down. Tips are always appreciated though. Helps us run the game. Even just a few bucks, like $5, help us cover some costs. That would be terrific. So playing along with you tonight, I'm very excited. You're going to have a special guest player. He is a writer and comedian. He's done work for MTV News, Disney Plus, Above Average, and he runs a really awesome class called Write Your Pilot. Please welcome to the Movie Quiz, your player tonight, playing alongside you, Matthew Starr. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be I'm so excited to be here.
That's great. Well, we were talking before. You were telling me that I didn't know this actually. You had been a contestant on Pyramid. So
that's right.
So this is equal footing, I'd say.
I would say I'm much less anxious about being here. Although honestly, that would be a lie. I'm just as anxious being here. The stakes seem just as high to me. Because we're all playing for $150,000, right?
That's very high stakes game. So Matt, you were also telling me that you had a very interesting response to. I always ask my guests what some of their favorite movies or genres are, and Matt, you told me yours were anything where. Let me see if I got the phrasing right. Anything where weather is the villain.
That's absolutely right. Any movie where weather is the villain is the best movie. We're talking Twister. We're talking Day After Tomorrow, The Core. Tell you what, if you want a great night, rent the movie The Core. I think you can get it probably for free someplace. I think I paid money to see it on Amazon Prime. And you will watch Stanley Tucci act with a cigarette, and it's a masterclass. It's absolutely like it's the absolute best. Twister, no joke, is like one of my favorite movies of all time, and I know people say it's a bad movie, and they might be right, but I love it. I love every minute of it.
Is it mostly weather, or is there like a human versus nature? Does that expand to like The Gray, like the Liam Neeson versus Wolves movie?
The Gray, I would like, yeah, that's a little bit different. It really is more of like a geostorm thing, where it's just for some reason the dramatization of cold chasing somebody down the street,
right,
just really tickles me as like, and they're always, larger metaphors for climate change or whatever. And
in Day After Tomorrow, it was literally climate change happening immediately.
That's right.
Which it was like a perfect, like it happened like it was the day after tomorrow. I guess that was the name of the movie. It was kind of in there.
Mm-hmm. And at the time, I remember it. Right, like I'm a nerd. I love trivia. I was when that came out when we were in high school or whatever, and I was a subscriber to Popular Science magazine, and there was like a whole bunch of articles about Day After Tomorrow, people being like, how real is it? And all of them were like, not real at all. And I was like, I don't care. This is what we want.
It's great. Do you like the other like Roland Emmerich non-weathery, like Independence
like a 2012?
2012.
Independence Day I love. Independence Day I watch every July 4th. 2012 I think is a pretty bad movie.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like really long too. 2012 was like 3 hours long or something. And like I think that I feel like Roland Emmerich is kind of, he's underrated in he writes the best first acts. Like the first act of every Roland Emmerich movie is amazing. It just like, it's this constant like ratcheting of tension until the big event.
Yeah, Will Smith seeing the UFO for the first time is one of like the greatest movie scenes of all time.
It's so well done.
But then the rest of that movie is like, why are we spending so much time?
As soon as the big event happens, because it's always just like, it's always the same formula. Introduce a bunch of disparate characters around the globe. Like introduce the disaster, ratchet it up and up and up, and then it happens, and then you've got like an hour and a half of just like weird filler that's never satisfying.
I'm sorry if I'm confusing this, and it's really bad. It's a really bad look for a movie trivia show. Did Roland Emmerich also do the Stonewall movie?
Ooh, that I don't know.
Somebody like this did the Stonewall movie and did such a bad job, and then like really was like on the like was like, I'm allowed to tell the story however I want to, and it's like, no, not really. But it's like, hey, stay in your lane, man. Like, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Disaster around the planet. Stop trying to tell this
yeah, I can't imagine him doing a Stonewall movie that's not like where like the Stonewall riots were like involved like an alien invasion or something. Like, I don't know how he would. It seems
he directed the 2015 Stonewall film.
He did. Okay, I had no idea. I had not heard about that. All right. So I think we're gonna start moving in the direction of getting the game started. So a big change actually this week, if you've been playing, is that I've been running a little long because it's a game show and a talk show, so I've been running a little long. So your rounds this week are going to be a little shorter. Each round is 8 questions now. So 8 questions, 4 rounds, 32 questions, plus a big bonus question at the end. I've got a request to run longer. One day I'll do a 3-hour version of the show, but I think we're going to get the game started. So for everybody if anybody hasn't played before, if you're on tmq.thetrivialist.com, you're going to see your questions will appear in front of you, and you'll have your options. If it's multiple choice or short answer, you'll just type them in right there and you'll see your answers. So normally this is where I would tell you the rules, but I actually got a special guest this week from the world of cinema to give you your rules. So please, everybody, listen up. Here are your rules for the movie quiz.
Hello, it is I, Jake Sully. When I'm not sticking my hair into my lover's hair, I'm playing the movie quiz, which is why it's an honor that Chris asked me to tell you the rules of the game. Rule number 1, no cheating. That's right. Don't Google, don't IMDb, don't do a Navi ritual for the Tree of Souls. Rule number 2, don't write the answers in the chat. The chat is used for funny comments, calling out Chris's mistakes, or demanding that someone do a bit. Rule number 3, please keep your team sizes small. 4 to 5 people or Navi dragons. Have a great and safe time. And remember, I was the original Sully. The other one was a feckless hack. If you agree, let me know in the comments below with the hashtag Jake Sully is the real Sully. Have a fun game.
All right, so thank you to Jake Sully from Avatar, as assisted by Yoni Lotan. Yoni Lotan was involved somehow in the production of that video. He's friends with Jake Sully.
The graphics of Avatar really hold up. That's all I'll say here. You think they would age, but James Cameron did a great job.
You can really see why people got depressed when they left the movie, because they had to enter the real world again. All right, so we are going to get started with the game. I'm putting it into in-game mode. So your first round tonight, as I mentioned in the intro up top, Matt runs a class called Write Your Pilot. So I was inspired by that to write a round that's called Pilot Season. It's all about movies and TV movies, features and TV movies that began their life in some way, shape, or form as TV pilots. Okay, So here we go. Here is your first question of tonight's game. David Lynch had planned to return to television in the early 2000s with this project, but when his 90-minute pilot was rejected by ABC, he shot some new scenes and released it as a film. It's the name of the film. The name of the film is the name of the project. David Lynch had planned to return to television in the early 2000s with this project, but when his 90-minute pilot was rejected by ABC, he shot some new scenes and released it as a film. All right. So a lot of people guessed. What did you guess, Matt? Did you put a guess in?
I did. I guess Mulholland Drive, but I'll be honest, David Lynch is a real blind spot for me.
It's not that blind because you got it right. It is Mulholland Drive. He did return to TV ultimately with Twin Peaks: The Return, but Mulholland Drive was shot as a pilot and then rejected by the network and turned into a feature to great acclaim. All right, question number 2 in pilot season. In the late 70s, a phase 2 of this TV series was planned. Instead, the intended first episode of the reboot, In Thy Image, was rewritten into a franchise-launching motion picture. So I'm looking for the name of the TV show. In the late 70s, a phase 2 of this TV series was planned. It never happened. Instead, the intended first episode of the reboot, In Thy Image, was rewritten into a franchising-launching motion picture. Matt, you got this one right as well. You're 2 for 2.
All right.
Done. So the phase 2 of this was a show. The timeline may have given you a clue because the show was from the mid 60s. It was Star Trek. Motion picture was also a clue because the movie was called Star Trek: The Motion Picture. All right. So question number 3. Are you a Star Trek fan, Matt?
The Next Generation has been a quarantine watch for my fiance now. Yeah.
That first season is rough, but
yes, it is.
It's so cheap, but it really picks up.
Yeah.
I started with the movies. I got into the movies first and then worked backwards into the shows.
Okay.
Your third question is a multiple choice question. Developed as a reimagined TV prequel to what teen thriller? The show Manchester Prep was passed on by Fox, and the pilot episode was then released as a sequel to the original film. So I'm looking for the name of the series that it was devised as a prequel series to. Is it The Craft, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Cruel Intentions, or Urban Legends? It's very confusing the way this was released because like the fact that when I found this out, I was like, oh, because it makes no sense as a sequel. It's called just part 2 of this. It's called Cruel Intentions 2.
Oh,
it's called Cruel Intentions 2, but it's like the same characters, but it takes place before because it was supposed to be a show. All right. Question number 4. What movie featured a gag called Zombie Kill of the Week, a holdover from its origins as a TV pilot script? What movie featured a gag called Zombie Kill of the Week, a holdover from its origins as a TV pilot script? So far, most teams that have submitted have gotten it right. Nicely done. Yeah, I think they shot some of this pilot, but then it ended up turning into a movie, 2 movies actually.
Yeah, fun fact, I saw the sequel the way everybody's supposed to, without audio, reading the subtitles on an airplane.
I saw it on an airplane too.
Yeah.
I saw it. And that everybody is your reference to Airplane for tonight. Unfortunately, I didn't have an airplane question for you tonight, so there it is. But I did see it on an airplane. I did see it with audio, but I think we were having it was like a rough flight. It was like a rough takeoff. So I was not
that movie.
I was not getting invested in I was like watching that and like Terminator 6. And I was like, because when I'm on a plane, I want to watch the newest thing possible. like before it's like available for rent. But then I'm like, these are horrible movies to watch during turbulence, just like violence. And it was on the eve of the pandemic. So even worse. Question number 5 in your pilot season round. In 2002, Pushing Daisies and Hannibal creator Brian Fuller turned what Stephen King novel, which has been adapted 2 other times, into a TV movie that was intended to be picked up as a series? Was it Carrie, The Shining, Pet Sematary, or Salem's Lot? This novel has been made 2 other times. Brian Fuller made it into a TV movie, sort of a backdoor pilot. So many of these, in researching this, I found out that so many of these pilots, these pilots that didn't get picked up, they get rebranded as TV movies, and then like networks will just like they'll burn them at some point. So only I think a pretty small amount. This was pretty divisive, this question. Some of you guys might not remember that this novel was made 2 other times. It was made with Sissy Spacek in the 70s and also with Chloe Grace Moretz in the 2000s. It's Carrie. It's Carrie. It was a Brian Fuller Carrie attempt at a TV show.
You got me.
You got on that one?
I got on that one.
What'd you put?
Cemetery like an idiot.
I purposely went for things that were also adapted. Everything on that list was adapted at least twice. The Shining was that weird. Did you ever see that weird miniseries of The Shining? I'm
a huge horrorist, so I've actually never seen The Shining.
Oh,
I feel
really?
like I've seen all of it because I've seen it all on The Simpsons, but I've never seen.
You've gleaned. It's
yeah.
one of those movies that you can just kind of glean from like culture. Just I've seen and I know enough to know what happens. Question number 6. The 1986 TV movie Popeye Doyle began as an unsold pilot featuring what actor from Married with Children and Modern Family, stepping into the role originated by Gene Hackman? Who was in that TV movie that was shot as a pilot, released as a TV movie? I saw you bury your face in your hands there, Matt.
Because I can see his face and I can't. The name I came up with, I know.
I know that look. I know that's the look of I know this person, but I can't get the. Some people put his character name from Married with Children, which is Al Bundy, but his name is Ed O'Neill. Ed O'Neill is his name.
I was so close. I said Chris Hemsworth. I was so close.
Often confused for one another.
They're twins.
Ed O'Neill was this close to booking Thor back in the late 2000s. Question number 7. It's another multiple choice. Doctor Who, the movie, was an attempt to restart the franchise on television back in 1996 before it ultimately was rebooted in 2005. Even though it was Paul McGann's only appearance as the Doctor, he's still counted in the series continuity as what iteration of the Time Lord? So this guy only did one TV movie that did not relaunch Doctor Who. That happened 9 years later, but he's still counted as what number Doctor? You got this one right, Matt. Did you know this, or was this a...
I want to make sure I got it right, because I don't know if you've seen it. It hasn't come through yet. I have watched Doctor Who. Doctor Who to me was how I proved to my now fiance that I liked her. Was she was like, this show's great, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch 10 seasons of it, and it's fine. But
so it was a labor of love. It was a test.
And truly, talk about a show that has some really rough episodes in it.
It really does. I like Doctor Who a lot, but there are some patches that are tough to get through. So the 2005 reboot started with the 9th Doctor, Paul McGann. Right. Before that, he is the 8th Doctor. He is the nicely done 70%. Got that right. I thought that was maybe on the harder end of the scale. And now question number 8, which is now your final question of the round, because rounds are a little bit shorter. Question number 8, your final question of the round. The first 3 episodes of what animated series? So I'm looking for the TV series name. Of what animated series were packaged as a movie in 2008 becoming the 7th theatrical release in the larger franchise that the show is part of. So it's part of a larger franchise. I need the name of the show. The name of the show. It's actually, yeah, they put 3 episodes together and rushed it into theaters, and it was not great. The show got better as time went on. But the initial 3 were not super great. It was the Clone Wars. Clone Wars was released as a movie. Yes, I do have opinions. I have many opinions. I'm allowed to editorialize on the show. All right, so let's take a look at your scores after 1 round. In 3rd place, we got a few teams tied for 3rd place. We got Good God Lemon, the Ringwoodians, Marley's Chains, and Sterling Cooper Rolandelli Betts, all tied for 3rd with 5. We got the Turds with 6 in 2nd place, and leading the way, your dynasty of the movie quiz, 7 points, is Chris. So I am going to, if anybody has joined the game late, is watching and wants to play, I'm going to just set it back so that you can sign up while Matt, do you want to tell us a little bit about Write Your Pilot or anything else?
Yeah, it's fun. Basically, it's a workshop that I started doing like 3 or 4 years ago. That had always been kind of like sort of a side thing, and then quarantine hit, and all of a sudden people had time to write scripts, and so I made it kind of like, hey, pay whatever you want to, mostly to keep myself sane. Of just like I like helping people talk through their ideas, and it's fun. And especially like in the context of this movie quiz, because I love bad movies. I love movies when they're really terrible.
Same.
And I find not that like people are writing bad scripts. It's just, it feels like a bad movie to me. It's just a script they didn't spend long enough time on.
Right.
And it is kind of like an ethos of, take the movie Twister. Like the movie Twister is great, but there's also a line in the beginning where Bill Paxton's character just straight up says like, that's Jonas. Like he's in it for the money, not the science. And people stress so much about writing things. And it's like, we can make this a less stressful process. Like that's what I try to focus on for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. You don't have to be precious about every single strand of dialogue. You want to care, but you don't have to be
right. And everything takes so long to get good. Like that's what I always think about too, is when I'm watching a bad movie, is like the people who made it, and there are some movies that are exceptions to this. The people didn't get together and say, we want to make a bad movie.
Right.
It was all people, like a lot of people agreed. A lot of people tried hard on this thing to make it. And it's just, things take a really long time to get good. And sometimes they don't. Art is hard.
It truly is.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, man. And I like anything that kind of leans into the quarantine nature of how we produce stuff now, making the best of a bad situation. So that's great. So we are going to move on to our second round of the night. It's your picture round. So the way this is going to work is very straightforward. Is I'm just going to ask you a question. I'm not going to ask you a question. I'm going to show you a picture. And this round tonight is called Song from the Motion Picture. So I'm going to show you 8 stills of characters who in the movie are singing a famous song. Okay, so the character is singing a song that exists. It's not a song from that movie. It's a song that they're basically covering or lip syncing to. And you name the song, or in some cases you can name the artist. Some cases I'll take a wider net, because song titles can be specific and weird. But generally I'm looking for the name of the song or the artist. Okay, so here we go. Song number 1. Let me just share my screen. Here we go. And there you go. What song is being sung in this scene? What song is being sung in this scene? I should also point out that as we get into this round, sometimes people have issues with the timer or or some lag. Try refreshing your Twitch feed. Sometimes that helps because since this is a timed game, you don't want to fall too far behind.
Hey, it's those guys from the Uber Eats commercial.
That's right. Oh my God. It was that I didn't watch the Super Bowl this year, but I watched that later because I love Wayne's World, but that was pretty intense. That was a lot to take in.
It really bummed me out. Honestly, that really bummed me out in a long time.
It was such a bummer on so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this song, it's from Wayne's World, of course. The song they're singing is Bohemian Rhapsody. They're singing Bohemian Rhapsody. All right, so here we go. Number 2, what song is being sung here right here? Wait for that to come up, then I will hit the timer. Here we go. This one, I feel like these first couple, most people know these two. I've been watching this movie. I mean, this is sort of a general statement for my entire life. I've been watching this movie a lot. It's obviously it's Back to the Future. My son has gotten really into Back to the Future. I bought him a remote control time machine for Christmas, and now he's properly obsessed.
That's great. Honestly, that's why movies are great, right? You get to pass them down.
It really is. But my wife Alex has pointed out that he's kind of found a loophole in not watching too much TV, which is that if he shows an interest in things I like, that I'll let him watch more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this most people got this right. You remember Back to the Future. He's singing Johnny Be Good. Johnny Be Good. And for this round, spelling doesn't count. Be Good does have an E at the end, but don't worry about that for this round. All right, question still number 3. This one, is no artist for this one, just song title. A lot of correct answers flying in. Staying in the test. Yeah, test is... Did Test answer that question? We have a mysterious lurker in the game always named Test. Was always there. A lot of people knew this one. A lot of people remembered Hocus Pocus, and the song that they sing is I Put a Spell on You.
Nice.
I Put a Spell on You. All right. Question number 4. What is being sung here? Hopefully that's not too dark to see. I'll make it a little larger and start the timer. In the answers, Tess said, don't talk about me or else. I guess this counts as talking about them, but Test is coming for me. We got 6 teams with correct answers so far. Matt, you I believe, yes, you got this right.
Mm-hmm. I love Stillwater. You kidding me?
Yeah, Stillwater. Stillwater runs deep is the cover of the Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone, yeah.
This is from that is the band fake band Stillwater. Not singing one of their own songs, but singing Elton John's Tiny Dancer on their tour bus. All right, question number 5 is next. What song is being sung in this scene? For this one, artist is okay. I'll take artist for this one.
Oh, no.
You can change your answer if you feel like you put something wrong. If you change it before time runs out. This was a hard one. This was a hard one. The movie is, I think the movie people know, it's lost in translation, but she's singing Brass in Pocket by the Pretenders. She's singing Brass in Pocket by the Pretenders. That's what the Brass in Pocket is why I took artist for some of these, because it's like, you know the song, but maybe you don't know that it's called that. It's a weird song title. And it makes you miss karaoke, maybe. Yeah,
it does.
Long for karaoke that involves other people, not just doing it at home. All right, here comes number 6. What's the song being sung here? Not just the movie, but the song or the artist that originated the song being sung. Hang on, let me just regrade one of these. I can regrade them if you think that if something slipped through that you think is wrong. All right, that I got it wrong. Okay, so this is "You've Lost That Love and Feeling" by the Righteous Brothers.
Yeah.
The Righteous Brothers.
Oh, it did they not give it to me? I didn't have to use.
All right. I can correct it. Where are you?
I didn't say use. I just said lost
I'll take that. As long as it shows that you know what you knew what the song was. So yes, I did get that, and I regraded it for you. Nicely done.
Thank you. Still hoping for all that credit. I just felt like I was back in high school, being like, excuse me.
Hang on, let me. Someone saying that I missed their answer in the last one. I don't see any correct answers that were missed. Unfortunately, it didn't register, I guess. All right, so I'll see what I can do about that. In the meantime, here's number 7. No artist for this one, just the song. A lot of people getting this one right. Matt, I believe you got it too.
Of course, classic.
Yeah.
Gene Wilder.
It's Gene Wilder and why am I blanking on
Peter
his name?
Boyle?
Peter Boyle. Thank you. I knew I had Peter, couldn't come up with the last name. And Young Frankenstein singing "Putting on the Ritz."
Yeah.
Putting on the Ritz. Classic scene. Let me just make sure. Sorry for my silence. I just I'm feels like it. Some people maybe are missing not getting their points. So I'm just making sure that everyone's getting their due. And your final one of this round, your final picture, number 8. Number 8. What song is being sung? You can name the artist on this one. Artist is fine. I'm also going to be I'm being very flexible with if you exhibit that you know what this song is, I'm going to mark it correct. Because it has a title that's sort of maybe not expected. It is, they do say "I Love You, Baby," "Too Good to Be True," but the actual title, so I took those because that exhibited that you knew what the song was. But the actual title by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, it's
"Oh No,
Can't Take My Eyes Off You."
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you put, Matt?
I thought that song was by Tom Jones. I
thought. No, it's the Four Seasons.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
All right.
Man, crazy that the Joker sings it like that. I knew the movie. I knew everything.
All right, so let's take a look at your scores after 2 rounds, the halfway point of the game. In third place, we got a three-way tie, between Good God Lemon, the Turds, and Matt Cinematic Universe. Matt, you're tied for third. Nicely done.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right.
Solo team. And in second place with 12, we've got Sterling Cooper, Roland Deli Betts. And in first place still is Chris. I have to recalibrate my brain now that there's fewer questions. I'm like, oh, this is a harder game, but the scores are much closer to a perfect score than I realized. So that takes us to our third round of the game. It's going to be your puzzle round. So if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow my trivia Instagram, which is right there, if you follow me at Trivia Man on Instagram, I give you clues throughout the week before the game, kind of about what maybe some of the categories are or what the puzzle rounds are going to be. So tonight I'm doing a new puzzle round called Make It a Double. So the way this is going to work is every puzzle will be a synopsis to a fake movie. I'm going to give you like a rundown of a movie that doesn't exist. To solve the puzzle, you're going to double up one letter in a real title. So the fake synopsis I'm giving you will be similar to the actual title that you're going to be doubling up a letter. So for example, the example I posted on Instagram today was a slain Detroit police officer is resurrected as a state-of-the-art poultry enclosure. That you add an extra O to RoboCop and you get RoboCoop. RoboCoop.
As a movie nerd and also a New York Times crossword fan, this is a very exciting round. I'm very excited by this.
Excellent. Yeah. And yes, I saw your 1 year streak. I saw that on Instagram. That's
you. Oh man, we should have talked about that earlier. Yeah,
I know.
Huge accomplishment.
Should have. And I should say I was inspired to do this round by the fact that you have double letters in both of your names. That was the genesis of this round. So
just to be clear, the answer is RoboCoop, not RoboCop.
RoboCoop, and in this case, because it's so specific, spelling does count for these. Great. Spelling does count. And one other little sub hint / rule: doubling up a letter may split a word into 2 words at times. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I've programmed it so that it will take it if you put it all as one word. We'll figure it out. We'll get through it. Here we go. Your first question. 2 immature men who live at the top of a tall hill learn to get along after their parents get married. You get 30 seconds for these. 30 seconds. 2 immature men who live at the top of a tall hill learn to get along after their parents get married.
Yeah, this is like, what a nerdy thing. This is why trivia is great.
This was one of those ones that the puzzle round is always like, it takes more work than other ones often. Mm-hmm. But this one was like extra, like I have to find movies that would like be a word if I double up a letter. So very nicely done. 14 teams got it right. Matt, you got it right. It is the original movie is Step Brothers. You throw an extra E in there and it becomes Steep Brothers.
Yeah.
Steep Brothers. All right, here we go. Question number 2 of your movie round, of your puzzle round. My brain isn't working right at the moment. Vito retires from Genco Olive Oil to spend more time with Michael, Sonny, Connie, and Fredo. Vito retires from Genco Olive Oil and that's in quotes, to spend more time with Michael, Sonny, Connie, and Fredo.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Time is up. The timer has run out. Again, most people have gotten it right. Nicely done. It is Vito Corleone, and those are his kids in The Godfather. He's spending time with them, and he becomes the good father. He's the good father. All right, number 3.
I would watch that.
Just a nice man. Just a nice man. A good dad. All right, number 3. Brandon Routh stars as an alien who eats inhuman amounts of food for dinner and then comes back for more dinner. Brandon Routh stars as an alien who eats inhuman amounts of food for dinner and then comes back for more dinner. Matt, you got it right. Nicely done.
I just want to say I'm still on the good father here of just like every time I think I'm out, I'm right. And I get to spend time with my family.
Right, yeah. Just when I think I'm out, I pull my kids in close. Yeah. All right. So this one was tricky. This one proved trickier than I thought. A lot of people were on the right track. They put Superman, but there's two bits here. There's Brandon Routh, and there's the part where he comes back. It's Superman Returns. Superman Returns, not just Superman. All right, question. Now I'm losing. I can't do the math now. What is this, 4? One of the stars of Face Off dreams of becoming a pro football player in the volunteer state, but he must first survive the fateful night of April 14th, 1912. Wordy. A wordy one. One of the stars of Face Off dreams of becoming a pro football player in the volunteer state, but he must first survive the fateful night of April 14th, 1912. So far, no one has submitted.
Yeah.
Tricky. One team's gotten it right. One team's got it.
Yeah.
You gotta double the letter. This one is a picky round. You gotta put the double letter in the right spot. All right, so the star of Face Off is Nick Cage. And on April 14th, 1912 was the sinking of the Titanic. And a football player in the volunteer state, that's Tennessee. He wants to be a Tennessee Titan. It's Titan Nick. Titan Nick is your answer. We had one team. One team get it right. One team. That's tricky. Okay, here we go. Question number 5. Mindy Kaling helps Emma Thompson reinvigorate her long-running coffee business. Mindy Kaling helps Emma Thompson reinvigorate her long-running coffee business. Matt, you were right in on that one.
Yep, this one.
You just connected with you.
Yeah, this is a movie. Well, I don't want to give anything away.
Have you seen this måde?
I haven't, but I'm so confused by it just from a premise standpoint.
It's very weird. Because like she hires her, like, but she's not like she's like submits a packet blindly. I think it's like,
but it's also it's opposing a universe where there is a female late night host and there really isn't one. And not only that, but that she's been a late night host for so long that she's like bitter about it. And it's like, it just is real. I remember seeing it being like, I'm very confused by this. There should be a female late night host in order for that. Like, I'm more angry at the world that this movie doesn't make sense, I guess. I don't know. I think too much about this stuff.
All right. So 6 teams got this right. Nicely done. The original movie that we were just discussing is Late Night.
I see the comment. Sam B something different. Don't give me Sam B here.
It is Latte Night. Late night becomes Latte Night. Latte Night. All right. Question number, what number is this now? 6. Question number 6. A movie that's nothing but the star of the Triple X series and his 3 adopted rodent sons. A star that's nothing but the star of the Triple X series and his 3 adopted rodent sons. The turds have gotten it right. A couple teams have gotten it right. Nicely done.
Yeah. I also see the comments. Chelsea Handler is a good point. I retract it. There are more of a network late night host of a letter. She's being a Letterman kind of a person.
Right. And in the movie she's been on the air since like the early 90s.
Right.
Those shows only started more recently.
Samantha Bee's a political commentator. I just don't put her in the same place as a David Letterman or a Jimmy Fallon. You know, Samantha Bee is a wonderful host. I love Samantha Bee, but yeah.
I also just want to point out that people are loving this round. This round is going. Everyone is very happy with this round.
And also my takes on why Late Night as a movie is confusing to me. It's funny. Everybody's not listening to the part where I'm like, we need more female late night hosts. Everybody's like, there's enough.
No,
there's enough female hosts. Yeah, we're fine with the 2 that we can name.
So this one, the movie, the original movie is Alvin and the Chipmunks. The letter to double up is L to give you Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's nothing but is the key there. Nothing but Alvin and the Chipmunks. All right. Question number 7. A lonely man in a not too distant future falls in love with his German virtual assistant. A lonely man in a not too distant future falls in love with his German virtual assistant. This one, everyone, I'm going to win everybody back on this one.
Also, nobody's bringing up Lily Singh, who also is a late night host right now and is in this place. Nobody's brought up her, and she would be an absolutely great candidate to rip me on, but nobody's brought her up. So
this one, I maybe should have put this one earlier in the round. People would have gotten on board with the rhythm of it better. There's only 3 letters in this title, so what what can you double up? You double up the R, and her becomes hair, Herr. So there you go. And your final one, your final question of the round, thankfully for some of you, I'm sure. Is a group of women escape from a post-apocalyptic warlord who loves anthropomorphized animals. A group of women escape from a post-apocalyptic warlord who loves anthropomorphized animals. I'll take the good comments. I'll take the positive comments here. Positive reinforcement. Your anger will only get you all more of these in the future. You'll spitefully write more of these.
Absolutely, you should.
Matt, you did very well in this round. I think you got
not popularity wise, but question wise, I did fine.
Yeah, you're standing with the crowd,
right?
In this round. But you're in the standings. You did much better. This one, it's Mad Max Fury Road. You double up the R and you get Mad Max Furry Road, or just Furry Road. I would have taken 2. All right, so let's take a look at your scores as we head into our final round of the night. We've got a 3-way tie for second between Sterling Cooper, Roland Deli Betts, Matt Cinematic Universe, the Turds, and still leading the way by 3 points is Chris. But I should also say, as we head into this final round, the game is going to end. If you feel like you're low in the pack, don't tune out, don't lose hope, because there's a big question at the end that can have a 10-point swing. The final question of the game can result in a 10-point swing. So hang in there. So for this last round of the night, I also want to point out at this point at this time in the game, if you guys are having fun, just remember the tip jar on the way out. Just a couple bucks from each team, if you could, would be fantastic. Help us offset some of the costs of running the game, and just keep it going, because I appreciate all of you guys so much, and I want to keep doing it. I want to keep doing the show. So that would be wonderful. The tip jar will show up right at the end of the game in the post game once again. So now the final round of the game. It's about one of my movie subjects that I have. Matt, do you watch the Oscars each year?
Yeah, I usually do.
Do you like, because I always do, and I know so much about Oscar history, but I also kind of hate the Oscars.
It's not a good show, but every year it wins an Emmy, which is crazy.
It's not a good show, and it's not a good gauge of quality quite often.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I have this really conflicting thing about the Oscars, but tonight's final round is all about the Oscars, because normally the Oscars would have been this week-ish. It's going to be, I think, April this year, but it would have been right around now. So the name of this round is "And the Winner Isn't." So the way it's going to work is I am going to give you're going to name the best picture winners by the other movies that they beat. So I'm going to give you the movies that lost, and you will give me the movie that won. Some will be short answer. Some will. I'm not going to hang you out to dry to know every best picture winner. Some will be multiple choice. All right, so here we
This
go.
is going to go bad for me. This is going to go bad. I watch the Oscars, but I don't retain them.
Don't sell yourself short. You're going to do fine. All right, here we go. Question number 1. Your losers, your non-winners are Arrival, Fences, Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water, Hidden Figures, La La Land, Lion, and Manchester by the Sea. This one's a short answer. Got to fill it in. Back to spelling doesn't count in this one, though. No precision. This one was also a hint on Instagram this week. Generally in this round, I constructed this round. Yes, it is. Happy birthday, Ryan. It's Ryan's birthday again this week. He had another birthday this week. We're very excited.
Happy birthday, Ryan. Yeah.
To celebrate him. Every week is Ryan's birthday. All right. So your winner, if you looked buried in those 9 other nominees, was La La Land, which famously had the switcheroo with Moonlight. The winner that year was Moonlight. So and also look out for in this round, it's movies that were either like an upset or otherwise like kind of a surprising win or a wrong choice in some might say. All right, this one's a multiple choice question. Your non-winners are Taxi Driver, Network, Bound for Glory, and All the President's Men. What was the winner that beat those out? Was it One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Rocky, Annie Hall, or The Deer Hunter? All right, this was a tough one. This was an incredibly stacked year. 1976, Taxi Driver, Network, All the President's Men. The movie that won was it's a classic movie, but a lot of people were kind of like, what? This one over those? It's Rocky. Rocky beat those movies in 1976. All right, back to short answer on this one. The winner is not Saving Private Ryan, Elizabeth, Life is Beautiful, or The Thin Red Line. What movie beat those 4 movies? What movie beat those 4?
Oof, this is a tough round. Can we go back to those 2 letters that are the same? Can we go back?
Mm-hmm. Ryan, birthday boy Ryan put in the chat Moonlight with 2 T's. Let me just make sure that nobody needs points that didn't get them. Nope. We got 7 teams got it right. They remember. You may have heard me rail against this. I feel like it's the worst best picture pick in considering what else was nominated. Shakespeare in Love.
Oh, okay.
Saving Private Ryan won like everything else that year. Spielberg won, but Shakespeare in Love took home the big one. All right. Your next question. What movie beat The Sixth Sense, The Green Mile, The Cider House Rules, and The Insider? Sixth Sense, Green Mile, The Cider House Rules, and The Insider. If you know what year some of those movies are from, it might help you reason it out. This is a tough round, especially the ones. That's why I put this last. It's pulling up the rear because it's the toughest one, I think. All right, so this one also, I feel like Sixth Sense and Green Mile they've certainly aged better than this movie, especially considering who's the star of this movie. It's American Beauty. Beauty. These were all
that last time.
1999 was another very stacked year for movies, including also the movies that weren't nominated, like The Matrix, and it's like a crazy year closing out the century. Best movie year ever? Yes, I would agree, quite possibly. Some people say 1939, But considering I was alive in 1999, I'm going
Who
90.
says 1939?
Oh, well, and I count with the
What,
very
Battleship
elderly,
Potemkin fans? Like,
people
yeah.
or very snobby people. Yes, Fight Club was also 1999. That is true. Here we go. The next one is a multiple choice, so don't stress too bad about it. Here we go. What beat Goodfellas, Godfather Part 3, Ghost, and Awakenings? What beat that movie? Those movies. What movie won over those? The trick in this with the multiple choice is that every multiple choice one is a Best Picture winner. They are all Best Picture winners. Okay, we got 9 teams got this right. This movie beat, Godfather 3 is not Goodfather 3 is not that great, but the other ones are better, I think, than Dances with Wolves. Dances with Wolves was your answer. 43%. All right. Question number, what is this? 7? No, 6 or 7. I can't tell because it's now 8 questions. The movies that lost were 127 Hours, True Grit, The Social Network, The Fighter, Winter's Bone, Inception, Black Swan, The Kids Are All Right, and Toy Story 3. A long list. A very long list. Andrew says, I was alive in 1939 as well. I was. I look very good for my age. I was already in my mid-30s at that point. All right. So this was more recent than some of those last couple of movies. The year was 2010. It was I believe the first year that they expanded back to 10 nominees. That's why there's so many of them. But the one that won was The King's Speech. The King's Speech won that year. Were you about to go with that one, Matt?
Yeah, I said The Artist, and I'm an idiot.
Oh, it's 1 year off. It's 1 year off. Artist was the following year, so it's very tricky. All right, this one is short answer. No multiple choice on this one. The ones that did not win are Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and Quiz Show. What movie beat those? Marley's Chains is right in with the answer. A lot of answers coming, a lot of correct answers coming in. A lot of people remember. Also, it helps. This is one of those rounds where it helps to know me and help to know what thorns in my side I have, about which of these were picked over the others, because this one was also sort of, in my opinion, like a bad pick over Shawshank or Pulp Fiction. It's Forrest Gump. Gump beat these movies. 1994. 94 was the year. All right. This one is your final question of the 4th round, the final regular question of the game. It's a multiple choice. What movie beat Citizen Kane, The Maltese Falcon, Sergeant York, Blossoms in the Dust, Here Comes Mr. Jordan, Hold Back the Dawn, The Little Foxes, One Foot in Heaven, and Suspicion? Really, the other ones, who cares? But this movie beat Citizen Kane and The Maltese Falcon. All right. So a few people said Rebecca. That was 1940. Kane is the following year, when it was sort of famously beaten by How Green Was My Valley, a movie that 0 people remember. Nobody remembers How Green Was My Valley. It's not famous. It didn't hold up. So let's check out our scores as we head into this final question, this big bonus question. It's very close. It's a very close game. We've got the Turds in 3rd place with 20 points. We've got Sterling Cooper, Rolandelli Betts making a comeback here with 23. Chris is still in the lead, but it's just a 1-point lead. And Matt, you are not far off. You're down.
I dropped that round. Got me.
That round got you. It's a tough round. It was the final round. So the way this final question is going to work is I'm gonna ask you a question that sort of blends a couple of the different categories, kind of touches on a couple of the topics we've talked about tonight. And if you get it right, you get 5 points, 5 more than you've been getting. But if you get it wrong, it's a gamble, because if you get it wrong, you'll get -5. You don't have to risk it. You can skip the question if you want to stand pat. Just hit the skip button, or just take your hands off the keyboard and let it ride. Skip that. Yoni's asking me to play the Jake Sully video. We'll see it. We'll see it again. All right. So here we go. Your final question of the night. Could be a 10-point swing. The writer-director of what Best Picture winner? So I'm looking for the name of a movie here. The writer-director of what Best Picture winner that beat out Brokeback Mountain, Capote, Munich, and Good Night and Good Luck briefly considered developing this movie as a series before making it a feature. It ultimately did get adapted into a TV show, airing for 2 seasons on Starz. The writer-director of what Best Picture winner? So I'm looking for the name of a movie here. This movie beat out Brokeback Mountain, Capote, Munich, and Good Night and Good Luck. Briefly considered developing it as a series before making it into a feature. It ultimately did get adapted into a TV show, airing for 2 seasons on Starz. I'm looking for the name of the movie. Name of the movie. All right. So that movie, which is by a lot of accounts, the one of the worst picks to win Best Picture, that did get turned into a TV series by Paul Haggis, the writer-director. The name of the movie was Crash. That was Crash, 2005 Best Picture winner. Yes, I did check the answer, but I was looking for the name of the movie. I needed the name of the movie, not Haggis. I know that was confusing. I phrased it a little odd. That's why I tried to make sure that I made it clear that I needed the name of the movie. All right, so let's take a look at your final scores for the night. Wait, not pregame. Let's go to in-game and see. Let's see, Matt, you skipped that one. You ended up in 7th place.
Skip sounds like I made like a conscious choice. I just couldn't. I could see. Yeah.
Took your hands off the wheel for that one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at your top scores for the night. In 3rd place, it was a tie between the Turds and Marley's Chains with 20 apiece. Sterling Cooper, Roland Deli Betts. Wait, who? No. I'm looking at. It's telling me. What am I getting wrong here? I'm reading this incorrectly. We've got in 3rd place Good God Lemon. In 2nd place is Marley's Chains with 24. And your winners, they got the bonus point right. Yes, those are the awards. My bad. Sorry. I got to look at the points. Chris takes it home again. They got the bonus question right. I've never seen a movie got the bonus right. Marley's Chains and Good God Lemon all got that one right. So nicely done. Good job, Matt. Thank you so much for being on tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so great.
Yeah, I had a really good time. I hope come back sometime and play.
I would love that. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Throw some money in the tip jar, just a couple bucks if you can. That would be really fantastic. I will see you next week, next Wednesday night at 7. Your guest will be Drew Johnson. We're gonna play more movie trivia. So stay safe, watch some movies, and I will see you back here next Wednesday night for more movie quiz. Have a good one.